Hey y'all, you are tuned in to the Powerhouse Lash podcast. This podcast is my diary to the lash community where I share my highs, lows, lessons, and rants based on my lash journey. My heart is to share the reality of what it's really like to build a lash business, and I hope this episode helps you feel seen, validated, educated, humored, and makes your lash journey a little bit easier. I'm your host, T the Brand, and I'm glad that you're here. Now, let's get to it. Hello, good people. Welcome to the first official episode of the Powerhouse Lash podcast. I'm really excited to record this episode and just share my everything with y'all. All of how I became a lash artist, why I became a lash artist, and just what's happening with being a lash artist. I'm also excited because my 28th birthday is tomorrow, December 9th, and I'm just looking forward to being surrounded by family and friends, eating good food, having a good time, and just really taking in the gratitude that I feel toward God for another year of life. 27 was a beautiful year, and I'm looking forward to 28 because I have good feelings about it. I've done a lot of growing, a lot of healing, and although both are a journey, I'm learning things, and my toolbox is growing, and yeah, we could just live a better, healthier life all the way around. So, I'm looking forward to celebrating life tomorrow. So I wanted to, of course, start off the podcast with sharing who I am with you guys, sharing what I do, my background, and how all of this even got started, how we got here on this podcast as a lash artist, all the things. So I'm going to take y'all back real quick and then bring y'all up to where my life is right now, or where my career is right now. So I graduated high school in 2013 from the Great James Madison High School in sunny South Dallas, Texas. After I graduated high school, I attended the Prairie View A&M University, my beloved HBCU, where productive people are produced. And while I was there, the highlight of my journey was dancing as a Black Fox with the Marching Storm Marching Band. If you know, you know, and if you don't know, go look them up on YouTube. And if you look between the years of 2013 and 2016, you'll see your girl in the videos. So after I graduated college in December 2016, I graduated with my Bachelor's of Arts in Social Work. I immediately went into grad school January 2017 for my Master's of Arts in Social Work, which I obtained in December of 2017. So because of my GPA, because I went right into grad school out of undergrad, I was able to skip a lot of the foundational courses for the master's program, which would usually take 2 years. So I knocked a year off of it and finished my degree within a year. So when I graduated with my master's in social work in December of 2017, I had just turned 23. So then in April of 2018, I took my exam to become a licensed master social worker. And what that is, it just opens up more doors, more areas that you can serve in the field for. And my goal was to be a therapist. I wanted to do therapy and counseling for women and children. At the time, my goal was also to do 2 years of clinical supervision to become a licensed clinical social worker. That way I will be able to open up my own therapy practice, and I'll be able to diagnose mental health disorders and things of the such. So that was the goal. But in 2018, after I took that exam and passed it, I started my first job as director of social services at a nursing and rehab center. And I was the youngest woman, Black, on the management team. Everybody else was there was one other, my friend Jazz, y'all, I love her. We still cool. She was maybe a couple of years older than me, but I was the youngest on the management team. And that job started off really cool. I enjoyed what I did. It wasn't, hard work. The residents were really sweet. Some of them were not so sweet, but in their condition and in where they had to live, I just totally understood. And then again, mental health disorders is what I studied for. So I was really able to empathize with a lot of the residents who I served at that facility. What made me want to get out of the nursing and rehab center was management. Things just got really passive aggressive and stressful for really not a good reason at all. And at the time, again, this was my first job. I started having migraines that would not go away. Like, I would go to sleep, wake up with migraines. And then later on, which was January 2019, I found out when I went to the doctor, because my hair had been falling out, that I had a diagnosis of moderate depression. Now, that totally rocked my world, because all of my happy little life, how am I depressed? That's what I didn't understand. And not like I was too good to be depressed, but I didn't feel like anything was going on to cause that or to trigger that. And the way that my doctor explained it to me was, sometimes just like your body gets sick, you get a cold, you get the flu or whatever, your brain gets sick. And after that, of course, all of this childhood trauma started coming up after I started therapy, and it just got crazy. So in March of 2019, I quit that job. I was so happy, y'all. I woke up one morning and I was in tears, and God gave me the green light to go ahead and make my exit. I went, took my letter, and I was back in the bed by 9 a.m. So during my time that I was not working, which was from March of 2019 to August of 2019, I was teaching pole fitness at a pole company here in Dallas. Again, dance background. I was still very active, still very athletic at the time. So I started teaching pole fitness just to, have some income coming in and occupy my time. Now, in August of 2019, I started my second job in my career as a school social worker. I was not assigned to a middle school, but I interviewed and was hired at a middle school. And I corrected that by saying not assigned, because there are school social workers that work at the school, and then there are social workers who work for the district that go to multiple schools to serve more students. But I was stationed at the school. It started off really cool, but then really quickly got really crazy. So we started off with our principal in August, and by October we had another principal, which was, that just says a lot, and I'm gonna just leave that right there. So we ended up with another principal, and I thought that things would get better, because again, the passive aggressiveness, the micromanaging, the rudeness and the disrespect, and being Black, being a woman, and being the youngest in a management position, that was a lot of pressure, and it could be really stressful, especially when I had to let the higher ups know that they were in the wrong for something, because my job as a social worker is to advocate for whatever population I'm serving. So in the nursing home, when administrators were out of line, or when other staff were, out of line or rude to a resident, it was my job to tell them, hey, you were wrong and you need to go fix that. And the same went when I was working in the school. And coming into their culture, that shook them, because I was the first school social worker that school had ever had. Social workers in the school district were new, and my position was a pilot position. So, having to tell administrators who had all this tenure or whatever that they were wrong and that they were mistreating students, or they owed a student an apology, or whatever the case may have been, they ain't like that, y'all, especially not coming from my young, cute Black self. So, and I worked with other Black people, but let's not pretend like we don't do it to ourselves, like we don't value our own people the way that we should. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there so that we don't go down a rabbit hole. So that became really stressful. There were many days where I would be in my office crying because of, something that a student had gone through, or witnessing a student be mistreated, and then there was nothing I could do about it because I wasn't able to fully function and operate in my role as a social worker. So I did that from August 2019, and then here came 2020, and we all know COVID-19 shut the world down in March, and that was one of the best things that could have happened. I had been on go, y'all, since 2013. The way that I just kind of sped through that, that's how, looking back, that's how those years flew by. College, first job, and then now second job. And then college twice, first of all. So yeah, it really went quick, and I never had a moment to pause. I never had a moment to rest or breathe. It was just, I was always on go. So COVID happened, shut the world down, and I was able to get so much mental, physical, and emotional rest. But then in April 2020, my principal at the time, she called me to let me know that my position was being cut from the school. And I wasn't totally mad about that because I had already been applying other places trying to get up out of there because I just could not and refused to do another contract at that school. And again, it wasn't the kids. I totally loved working with them. So I moved out of my parents' house in February of 2020. So there's February, I move out. March, the world shuts down because of the pandemic. And then April, I lose my job. Thankfully, my contract was still paid out through August. So I got paid through the summertime and the spring. Well, the spring and summertime. Now, during that time, I was looking for other jobs. For the new school year, I was trying to, find other schools within my districts. I was applying to districts outside of the district I was working for. And I was applying for jobs that weren't school social worker jobs. But I was very, very intentional to not apply for something that I didn't want. I wasn't finna keep doing it to myself. Well, let me not say keep doing it, because the jobs that I had, I did want to do those, but I knew more about what I wanted. So I wasn't applying for just anything. So in June or July, it was July of 2020, I was on FaceTime with my best friends, Kat and Caitlin. Shout out to y'all if y'all are listening to this. I love y'all, and y'all already know it. So I was talking to them one day, and very randomly, or which I thought was randomly, turns out God was just doing his God thing. I told them I wanted to learn how to do lash extensions. I didn't wear lash extensions. I had only had them once before, which was for my 25th birthday. And I was a strip lash girl. And thank you, God, for delivering me from that life. The girls who get it, and free the girls who do not know and understand the value of lash extensions. I promise they change your life. They make your mornings easier. They save you time. You just wake up on slay. Like, there's never a time that I wake up in the morning and be like, I be like, hey girl, we cute. So yeah, I love the lash extensions now. So I told them I wanted to take a class, and the next month I was in a class, because the day after I told them I wanted to learn how to do lash extensions, of course, here go all these ads on Instagram out of nowhere. I swear the government be listening, man. Here go all of these ads on Instagram for lash extension courses. So I took a class in August. Shout out to you, Darian. And I just, was cool with that. I'm like, this is about to be some cool little side hustle money. I literally said I wasn't going to go to school to do lash extensions, because this wasn't something that I was trying to take on full time. I just wanted some extra coins, but very on brand of who I am. 2 months later, in October, I was enrolled in cosmetology school for a specialty lash program. And so what that is, that's just, you go to school to learn eyelash extensions only. You're not learning about facials and skincare and hair and nails and all the things. I just wanted to do lashes. I didn't care about the other stuff. So October, I went to cosmetology school. And so my expectation was to finish cosmetology school in December. And I finished all of my assignments, but you have to have a total of 320 hours in order to take your written and practical exam. And although all my assignments were done, I sped through them and did not have 320 hours because I flew through the assignments. So from December till, I want to say maybe April or May, I was still in school. And I was a hybrid student at first, which meant on Mondays when I had class, I would go into class. And after that, I would spend the rest of the week in my lash suite doing lashes so that I could make money on the side. And then eventually I went to just strictly online because I had gone through the whole class curriculum like 2.5 times, and there was no need for me to keep doing that. So I just went to school. I changed my status from hybrid to an online student, and just kept working in my studio, building my clientele, which was so hard to do because I did not know how to market and brand. Yeah, I won't go down that rabbit hole. That's a podcast that's another episode. So the marketing and branding was what I was needing to work on to build my clientele, but clientele was cool. So the summer of 2021, I was able to take my practical exam. I passed it, and then I was a licensed lash artist. I was super excited. I had my own suite, as I just spoke of. I think I got my suite in March. So from March to October, I had my suite. And I pivoted my business in October, maybe September-ish, October-ish. I was ready to start mentoring other lash artists, and I was also ready to start training other lash artists. My skills were A1, and I just wanted to be able to provide that to other lash artists, because although I love who my trainer was only able to teach me as much as my trainer knew, and there was a lot that I didn't know starting out as a lash artist that I struggled to learn. Also, school didn't teach me. So yeah, I wanted to make other lash artists' journey easier by giving them the right head start with the training. So I opened up trainings, and then I did my first training in September of 2021. And then I started a marketing and branding cohort to mentor 5 lash artists in November. And that was cool. But what happened was all my marketing went toward marketing that class. So what happened, my audience shifted. I stopped marketing eyelash extensions, and I was mostly marketing to lash artists. So my clientele fell off, and I wasn't getting a lot of clients. So that means my money wasn't coming in, and I had to let my suite go. And at the time that I let my suite go, I had a conversation with God, and I was like, look, man, I'm out of moves. I done did everything that I could to try to build this business. Ain't nothing working, ain't nothing sticking. So if you don't do it, it ain't gonna be done. If we got to pack up and move under a bridge, then that's what we gonna do. And I tell everybody that was like my exact prayer. I told him I would move under a bridge because I'm not doing nothing else. I ain't making no more moves. It's all on you. And I think God was probably like, oh, finally, because things changed like almost immediately. My boyfriend and I had just moved to a new area in the city in August, and we would walk our puppy Sparkle down this street, and there was this little house, and he was like, oh, babe, you can work there, because they had a sign outside, and it looked like it was a spa. And so I was like, I don't know what they do in there. Turns out I was on Indeed one day once I finally swallowed my pride and accepted that, I need to go work somewhere for a little bit, and I wasn't ready to go back to social work. That wasn't what... Yeah, no, that wasn't on the table. And so the spot needed a lash artist. I went, met the owner. It was cool. And I started working there like almost immediately. So from November 2021 to May of this year. Wow. To May of this year, I worked at the spa, and I quit the job at the spa. Unfortunately, I heard the owner having a good little gossip session about me with one of the other ladies who worked in the spa. And so, of course, I don't believe in burning bridges, but I set that one on fire. Fire. Anyway, won't go down the rabbit hole. So I stopped working there, but prior to me quitting there, God had been telling me like I needed to prepare to be on my own, and I didn't know exactly what that looked like. I didn't know exactly what I was supposed to do. My anxiety was going crazy, and once I understood that I just needed to make like baby steps, the next step that he gave me, he would roll the rest of it out to me as I needed to know and needed to move. That's what happened. So I quit the job, and I did not want to start back lashing from home, y'all, at all. I didn't want people in my house. It was just we had a 1-bedroom, and yeah, it was just 1 bedroom in our living room, and it was super small. And I just didn't want people in our intimate space like that. But my boyfriend had been telling me, even before I went to work at the spa, that I just needed to work from home again. And I was like, But that's exactly what happened. We were back to trapping out the living room. But we ended up applying for another location, another apartment within our where we live at, and they had a study. So there's a hallway in my space where there's only a bathroom and a study, which is now my lash room, my work room, the office, all of the things. And I was really appreciative that God opened that door. And since I left, I make way more money. My schedule is way more flexible. My anxiety is not as crazy. I've been able to really build my clientele. Okay, so one thing that really helped me while I was working at the spa, I didn't have all of the responsibilities of running the business anymore. So I was able to really focus and learn how to market and brand so that I could build my clientele. And that was beautiful for me because I was gaining clientele while I was working at the spa, and then after I left, I was still able to continue gaining clientele because I kind of knew a little bit better what I was doing with marketing and branding and things of the sort. So that time there was really helpful to help me build myself and my skills off of the lash table. So now what I do with my business, I am a YouTuber, and go subscribe, like, comment, share, all of the things. And the YouTube channel is under T the Brand, and that's TEETHEBRAND. So much valuable information on there for lash artists and for anybody who has a service-based business where you are working with clients. So I'm a YouTuber, I'm a lash artist, and now I'm a podcaster. And I just love it. I love it. I would not go back to full-time social work ever if I don't ever have to. That will be my last resort, the last option. And it's not that I don't like the profession, it's just how much flexibility I have now. If I'm gonna be stressed, I'm gonna be stressed working on me and getting my stuff together and not building somebody else's company or somebody else's dream. So that's that on that with the social work. I am really appreciative that I was able to go and get my social work degrees, because as a lash artist, when people come and lay on your table, like, they crack wide open. I do life with my clients. Like, I've had crying sessions with clients, and I give them advice. They feed me when I need it, and it's just a beautiful space. I believe that a huge part of my purpose is to serve women. And like I said at the beginning of the podcast, my goal was to be a social worker therapist for women and children. And I get to service women every day in many different capacities. My clients on the lash table, different lash artists on Instagram. Oh my God, I love them so much because I get so many messages at the most perfect times about how something that I said on YouTube or something that was shared on Instagram has helped them or is helping them, encourage them. They want to keep going. They're inspired. And I'm just really thankful to God for the impact that he's allowed me to have with this lash business. And I wouldn't be the lash artist that I am without my social work experience and my studies and all of the things. So y'all, that's my story. People think that I took this huge, great leap of faith. It was like, oh, I'm finna leave my job and become an entrepreneur. And I wish the story was that cute, because it is totally not. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. God really threw me out in the water and was like, you're gonna sink or swim. And we survive around here. So we got our backstroke together, and yeah, we're swimming, we're building. And entrepreneurship is hard. It's super hard. Oh my God, it's super hard. 9 to 5, and I mean, you can do 9 to 5 and then go home. You don't get to 9 to 5 as an entrepreneur. It's nonstop. Like, ooh, but it's so beautiful. What I'm seeing unfold and what I'm seeing be built before my eyes is amazing, and I'm really thankful for the space. So y'all, I'm gonna wrap this episode up. I just wanted to get on here and start the podcast off by sharing who I am and sharing my story, my heart with you guys. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this episode. I hope that it has, I don't know, inspired you. I hope that you feel like, you can go on and that you can do all the things that you want to do. If you have a dream, chase it, man. And it's going to be hard, but everything is hard. It's hard to quit and it's hard to keep going. So you choose your heart. Thank y'all for tuning in to this episode. I am T the Brand, and I will see y'all in the next one.